Hello and welcome to Dan's Bluecast. This is the first time on my new stream, so this could be an interesting one with it being a derby. Thank you, everyone, for coming on, that comes on. And I'm going to get Luke in now as a guest.
How how's it going?
Are we doing?
You know what? I mean, could be better. Could be celebrating the decent results, but unfortunately, with the results, unfortunately, got to drown my sorrows in something.
You don't know where to start with it, do you? It was a complete different game to the Arsenal game, wasn't it? It was. I'm so disappointed because I don't feel like we even turned up, Luke. I don't know how you feel about this. This is the first time we're going to speak about it, so I haven't even messaged you about it. So you go through your emotions right now. Let it out.
I mean, to tell you the truth, there was three culprits to this game today. Pickford being one of them. I mean, that first goal, it could have helped try and prevent it by actually being a little bit further back of his line instead of, being halfway out the box to try and see if he could take Salah on. That's not going to work against someone like Mo Salah. Once a cross comes in, he could see the Pickford was pretty much right by him, and all he had to do was just side foot it. Easy as anything for him. Another one being, well, according to Peds, James Tarkowski. I don't think that was the case. I mean, James Tarkowski, I thought he had a great game. He was blocking the majority of the shots. He was keeping reasonably good communication with Connor Cody, and I think what should have probably been more the case was James Tarkowski should have been the one who stayed up for that corner as a crack at it, and Cody should have been closer to the halfway line so that when a break is on, like what we had, he's there to try and actually be that extra man instead of relying on all our players running from box to box trying to bloody break Usain Bolt's bloody sprint record.
It was crazy on that first goal, though, because it 100% looked like Tarkowski was going to score, didn't it? Perfectly.
I would have put money on it. I would have definitely put £5 on that.
It looked so good. He had two people on him. Sometimes it's just, you just got to put your hands up. I mean, we should have dealt with it better afterwards, but to leap up against two like that, put the header back across goal, and it hit the post, was crazy. I just seen a comment here. This is all new to me, so I'm a bit congrats on the new channel.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Congrats on the new channel. It is. It's a brave new step for you, mate.
Yeah, it's going to be. There's a lot to learn, a lot to get right. I need to learn bits and bobs until I can perfect things. And as even late going ahead now, but I've been on streams before, and you have as well. So I thought it's cracking to get you on because you're a lot more pro at it than me because you've been doing it for a while now.
I wouldn't say pro. It's more just I'm not scared of getting behind the camera and actually speaking my mind. I've done it many a times before. I mean, if anyone's actually watched the match preview, I talked about it near the end of the video. When I was back in New Zealand, I was doing Twitch streams and all that sort of stuff. So this sort of stuff, it does feel like second nature, getting behind the camera and just speaking my mind while doing something.
Well, you was the person that helped me come up with the name, Dan's Bluescast. Well, did come up with a name and come up with a logo. So you are very good at those things.
I mean, I'll be honest. At some points, I sort of think that it's like, does I help you with the name or does I sort of force it by giving you the badge? It's like, yeah, this is an example. Take it.
Yeah, you did help me out massively, and I appreciate it so much. I've just seen this comment now. I'm going to try and drop them on all the time just because it's like new and trying to get them involved as well. We had no fight tonight, and this is what I thought as well. Like, we're going to go through different patches. At the minute, we're on Tarkowski hitting the post, and we haven't even talked about what went on after him hitting the post, but bits and bobs of it you've just said, but they didn't turn up. We will go into that on that comment in a minute, but I don't know what you was thinking, Luke. I was just thinking, go on again, take him out, get the yellow card.
I was thinking the exact same thing. I saw him running down that wing and I thought around the halfway line, he was close enough to him that all he had to do was just throw a leg in. And if he would have got the ball, great. If not, he would have got the player. And then from there, it would have been a yellow card. It wouldn't have been a red. depends on how he approached it. If he would have just went
There's,
like full on.
there's defenders there, weren't they? Like you say, it would have definitely been a yellow, not a red, if that happened.
Yeah, definitely.
So he should have took him out, and then. So he's got the ball. We're going through the stages here. So he could have took him out. Nunes puts the cross in, but I was disappointed that we didn't. They had 3 players once he put the cross in. Liverpool had 3 players all available to tap the ball in. So I did think to myself, I'm sure you was thinking as well, with our fitness meant to be a lot better and stuff like that. Why was they all ahead of us? Why did we not have cover from that corner?
I've got no idea. I mean, granted, a lot of Liverpool fans have already said to me that this is one of the biggest things with Liverpool. Although they're not doing well, their players are still fast. So chances are they just outpaced us in that regard. They just outsped us, got from point A to point B as quickly as possible and scored because of it. I mean, we will probably actually need to look at getting a couple of faster players in the squads when the time comes if we stay in the Premier League. I mean, to be honest, I'd be looking at probably phasing just a Gay out and starting to bring James Garner in, start getting him in that sort of position to try and, add a little bit of youth, because just a Gay, don't get me wrong, he's a really good player, but he has his moments of errors and blunders, and I feel like James Garner might be the one who actually corrects them sorts of things. So
it felt like nobody turned up today, though, in that midfield. Like Doucouré, Garner Gay he did more than what he normally does. Even though Nano, I love him to pieces, but he just couldn't get into the game, could he?
No, the rhythm was just completely gone.
It was so frustrating that none of the midfielders. Normally as well, I thought the Iwobi got back and helped Coleman, and Mikalenko against Arsenal got back. McNeil got back and helped Mikalenko, but it didn't seem to happen this time, did it?
No, one of my biggest gripes though with McNeil, I've said it millions of times, and I'm probably going to say it another million times. He's too one-footed. He's too left-footed. If you watch the game, if you watch any game that he plays in, he has no, how can I put it? He has no right foot in any way, shape, or form. It is purely a superficial foot. He uses it to run on. That's it. You never see him trying to make a pass with it. You never even try and see him make control with it. It's a foot that he never touches. And for a professional footballer to be so severely left-footed, there's got to be some questions asked. If I was Sean Dyche, I'd be when he comes into the training ground next, I'd be taking his left boot off and saying, right, you're kicking with your right foot, otherwise you're going to hurt your toes. You need to be using that right foot more. I mean,
he did look more lively than Iwobi, though. That he looked, he was. I thought, I agree with you. He's predictable, but he looked more lively than Iwobi. And I was thinking on the Iwobi's side, he looked very laggy today. Do you think that this pre-season game? I mean, I don't want to start getting negative because I want to be positive, but do you think this pre-season game made the players look fatigued in this derby?
It shouldn't have done, in all fairness. I mean, these guys are meant to be professional athletes. These guys should, I mean, look at the average Tom, Dick and Harry. I mean, look at most school kids. They play like day in, day out, and they've still got the energy to do so. Day after day after day. These guys are meant to be at the peak of physical human condition. They should be able to do this day in, day out, no issues. I mean, myself, I've played 3 games of football this week, and the only thing negative about me right now is my bloody leg is currently in a wrap because I bloody fell and twisted my knee in a game this evening. And I'd still be keen to bloody crack on and play.
I know what you're saying. I'm probably making an excuse. I meant the behind closed door game. But you say, it's 3 days, isn't it? So they still had plenty of time. It just didn't seem to work today. Like we played the 4-5-1. What did you think on Sims? Obviously,
I mean, to tell you the truth, he looked out of his depth. I think this was probably the worst possible game you could have thrown him into. It was literally you're throwing him into the bloody bit. You're throwing him into the freaking Wolves den and expecting him to survive and play decently. It's not going to happen, in all fairness. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've seen some people who've got debuts. I mean, Onana, he got his debut against Liverpool earlier this season. He did all right with it, as well as just a gay. But with Ellis Sims, I do feel bad for him because it was not the game that he should have been introduced in. I don't
think he's the answer either, is he?
Not yet.
The problem is we said, just do basic stuff like hold the ball up, but you need a bit more about you than that. There was a moment where Sims turned and he opened up, and you think like if that was Richarlison, he would have really put those Liverpool players under pressure.
Oh yeah,
Or maybe even Damari Gray. If he ran out and he would have made a difference. Where Sims, he probably has only got the holding up quality behind him, which is just, it's frustrating. I mean, I've already had some, I'm sure you've had it as well. I've already had a bit of stick from some Liverpool fans who I've just blocked.
I've had one or two, but quite frankly, though, the thing is, though, they can be smart with me, but I can be very much smarter back with them. They can try all that. And they can try and get under my skin, but it just doesn't work. I've learned that smart arsery is a talent in its own, and I'm very much good at it.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Probably even
well, I just thought to myself when he said, I thought to myself, we let them win today. We didn't turn up today. We really didn't turn up because I can't think of what. Like, do you know when that kickoff? I mean, I'll talk about the second goal in a minute, but when that kickoff happened, that was the first time that we looked like we was in a derby in the last 5 minutes. That's the first time where I was thinking, yeah, you look like you're up for it, but we're losing 2-0. What's the point on doing all that now? It didn't. No one put any passion. I mean, I was saying to you, Luke, at the start of the game, I was proper up for it, and I was like, yes, come on. And the first start of the game, no yellow cards, not many tackles. It didn't look like a derby game whatsoever. It didn't look like a game that our players needed to win. They didn't play like they needed to win.
It looked extremely placid, in all fairness. It did look extremely placid, and it's not something that we should be doing. We need to be in them sorts of games, in them sorts of situations. Instead of going in the way we did, where we were quite held off and sort of trying to feel them out, we shouldn't be doing that with Liverpool. What we should have been doing from the word go was going in there. I mean, granted, it sounds like it would be a recipe for disaster, but we should have went in there almost guns blazing and tried to overwhelm them quickly. Because I think if we would have done that and say, managed to get a lucky goal through, say, Onana, Iwobi or Decore, from there, it would have been a situation of they would have been very stood back, and they would have more than likely have tried to hold off a bit more against us if we just pressed at them.
Well, it did seem like, I'm picking up on what you're saying, like, it did seem like we let them have a lot of possession to build their confidence, because a lot of people were saying, this is a big game for them, because if their fans ain't happy, then they'll get on to the players and stuff, where it felt like we played massively into their hands. We just let them have possession. We let them build confidence. And we made the Liverpool fans think it was only a matter of time before they was going to score and go ahead. And like you've just said, you've got to put them under pressure, and you've got to rattle them early to when they ain't feeling confident. And I don't think we did that.
No, we didn't. Unfortunately, we did not in the slightest give them any. We didn't give them too much in terms of pressure. For some reason, as a lot of people have already said, the midfield almost seemed fairly absent in comparison to what it was like against Arsenal. And you know what? I'm gonna try and give Iwobi some benefit of the doubt, because when we were 2-0 down, he was actually still giving it a good effort. He was still trying to get up there. I think the only thing that we're missing right now is a finisher. Personally, I would love to try and, like, end of the season, if we somehow by the skin of our teeth survive, turn around to Tottenham and say, you know what, here's 40 million, the Anthony Gordon money, give us Richarlison back. We will take him back. And if we were doing a kicking and screaming, I would love him back myself. I mean, he's not getting anything from Spurs at the moment. He's getting bit parts, and he's hating it. He wants regular football. Granted, he wants Champions League football, but he wants regular football as well. And I think if we was back in this squad right now, he would have got a goal in that game, because the Liverpool defence was error-prone as well. I mean, Fabinho was making mistakes left, right, and centre. Robertson was making mistakes. Alexander-Arnold was making mistakes. They were prime areas where if we would have had a decent striker, they would have exploited the ever-loving hell out of it. And we probably would have walked away with a win, like a 2 or 3-1 win. But unfortunately, we've got none in terms
like
of...
you say, there was massively gettable. There really was gettable. There was making mistakes at the back, but we didn't seem like we could get nowhere near. actually. Like against Arsenal, we really did press high and push those, where this time it just seemed so easy for them to pass out the back. The three defenders dropped off and they started just passing it out, and it was just so easy to pass. So there's a comment there saying wasn't a fan of Iwobi today. Few occasions where I wondered what on earth was he doing. I think I thought the same thing. Like I just said to you earlier on, they just seemed so lazy, didn't they?
Yeah, he did. At times he did seem quite lazy, but you did notice that sometimes he did have a little bit of a flourish about himself. He was trying. It was just more the fact that I feel like his head had dropped a bit. I think it was actually getting in when we were going down by goals. It was getting to him, and it was actually starting to weigh on him a little bit. That's all I can really say about it, to be honest.
Well, we'll go on to. We briefly talked about the first guy. I will eventually, when I become good at this, I will have a structure of what we're going to talk about and stuff like that. But I'm just going with the flow. This is the first time, so we'll just have a little chat about the derby. It's not a frigging amazing thing to talk about, is it? Because we're gutted. But the second goal, it was another thing where it was a similar thing, counter attack. I felt like Coleman could have took the player out.
Yeah,
I thought Coleman just go over and just take him out and just get the yellow card, stop the counter-attack, because once again, we committed. And today, they did have a few chances, but I feel like we've done ourselves. I really do feel like we've done ourselves on the counter-attack, because Liverpool didn't have to pass through the angles. We didn't sit back compact to make it really hard for them to find a goal. We pushed up and we didn't track back and we wasn't ready. And we just put 2 goals on the plate for them. Like, seriously, I'm thinking back now, the 2 goals that they scored, Garnegay, bring him down, yellow card, you're still 0-0, you're still in the game. And we didn't look too bad at the start. We didn't start that bad. We looked like we had them, other than that counter-attack that hit the post. So we could have stayed in it a bit longer there. And then the second goal as well, Coleman, I don't know why you didn't just bring him down again. It was a very similar goal. I have to call out Pickford as well on the first one. It was, I don't know what he was doing. I really don't.
I think this is just one of them now. They've gotten in great. I think it's one of them. It's like most people, even in the city, when it comes to Derby Day, it changes a lot of mindsets. A lot of people go from thinking, "Oh yeah, just another football match," to this is an important match. So I think that always does have like a bit of a mental, how can I put it, a mental burden on the players. Because I mean, you watch that game today for the first half, about 90% of the first half. It seemed very placid and stagnant. And then things did come to life in the second half. Things got a little bit more lively. Tackles were flying in. I mean, near the end there, when Robertson was being a little bit of an arsehole, he knew he'd bloody fouled, and he decides to run off with the ball like an idiot. And then Pickford nearly flattens him because of it.
Yeah, that was a feisty one. That was what I was... I wanted to smack Robertson myself. He's a really frustrating player. I wanted to run over. And I was so happy that Onana went over as well, because I was thinking the Liverpool players are giving it largely, and I wish we had Onana on to freaking shut Van Dijk up when Van Dijk got involved as well. And then Onana ran over and he was like, "Come on," and I was like, "Yes, thank God Onana's getting involved." And because I just feel Onana had loads of fight in him, and he was so shocked for him coming off. He when he come off, he was like, "What, me?" And I was like, when Onana had all that fight on the sideline, I was thinking, "Oh, I wish you played with that fight." And the thing is, I think they overfought it. I really do think they thought too much about things, and they analysed the game too much, and they got too nervous instead of just being themselves, instead of just going out and being themselves. And it doesn't look like they just went out and was free and just played for themselves. It looked like there was sat down, as I've said in the interviews, there was sat down, they went through loads of analysis, and it looked like it looked like they played like they'd been through that much. There was just wasn't that good. And someone just commented that there we played different in the Arsenal game, and we did. It was same players other than Calvert-Lewin. But even when Mopé come on the Arsenal game, we played so much better with the 4 at the back and the 5 midfielders. And I just can't put on in my head why we was so much better again the Arsenal game. And the energy was completely different. This is why I said to you, did that indoor game make a difference? Because the energy all over the midfield was not good. It was nowhere near as good.
You know, I'm actually curious who they actually played behind closed doors. Did they play against
And
the youth
me.
side or something?
I don't know. I want to find out. I generally do because I just think they
Yeah.
look shit. They're just. That's the only reason I can put in my head why they'd be shattered. Because otherwise, if they should have had loads of energy because it was a 9-game break.
Yeah, it was one of them. You had a week and a bit to basically recuperate and adjust yourselves to the next game. It should have been. I mean, if it was the case, then I think Sean Dyche should actually look at the data and say, okay, so we might actually sack off the behind closed door games. What we'll do is we'll do like some simulated sort of scenarios. So like we'll get one of the players, we'll have them do a leg on the break and have the defenders try and actually take them on and see what we can actually work around that. Because the next game, Leeds, that's pretty much now make or
Oh
break
my
now.
days, that is so big now, isn't it? As well,
We've
just made that Leeds game twice as big. It's
made it, yeah.
Because a lot of people will be
become
doubting
Crystal
now.
Palace all over again.
A lot of people will be doubting us, won't they, Luke? Like, I wanted us to be good this game so we could prove we could be good twice.
Yeah, I think. I'm hoping beyond all belief that this could have been the wake-up call for the team to say, right, we had a good game against Arsenal. We played absolutely terrible against the other lot. Let's have a look at what we did good at Arsenal. Let's have a look at what we did bad at Liverpool. And we'll make that work against Leeds. And hopefully we can make that the template going forwards, because I can't see us doing what we did against Liverpool, against Leeds. We can't do that. They're going to absolutely destroy us if they do that.
I'm thinking just bin that off now. Just forget about it. But it gets worrying if we see the same thing against Leeds. And a lot of people will fear that. Because we all said we just wanted a good performance today. And I don't think we got that at all. No, I really don't think we got a good performance. The level, energy levels and everything was just not good. And that scares you, because if they would have ran their arses off today and got beat, I wouldn't have been bothered. But the fact there was a little bit... the effort wasn't that much in a derby, and the slacked, and we didn't offer much going forward. It worries me, but I'm not going to let myself get too worried, because I do feel that we've got to stay positive, because this is a big battle now. We are in a big relegation battle. We're in the bottom three, and this Leeds game is absolutely massive.
This Leeds game's critical now. Did they end up replacing the manager? Did they, or who's their manager now?
They haven't replaced him, but I think they've got someone that is coming in. I'm not sure who he is. His name. Someone said they can't understand. Who did you say was to blame on the second goal? Where Trevor says Trevor Longmore says I can't understand Cody with the second goal.
I'll be honest, I agree with Trevor on that one. Cody should have definitely have got a foot on that. The way it actually moved, it wasn't like it was an absolute bloody fizzer going right past him and he couldn't react to it. He basically, for some reason, I got a feeling that he must have thought that someone was behind him to clear it, and he thought that would have been a better option, which wasn't the case. He should have just let his instincts kick in and just launched it. Even if it would have went out for the corner or a throw in, just launch it, just send it. That's what you're best doing in them sorts of situations. Just let your instincts kick in and just whack it out of the way.
Go on.
And this is the first time I've ever seen you without a beanie.
Yeah, well, my hair's growing back, but it's just, I'm close now. I shaved it skinhead, didn't I? But I'm very close for it being a haircut, going and having a haircut. Because when you shave it bald, it comes back all like that, doesn't it? Yeah. And I'm at that stage, I might have my first haircut after shaving it off. I will read this comment here. There was a comment that says, there's a few comments. It's all new, by the way. So if there isn't many comments and there isn't a lot on live, there's going to be more. And it'll take me a while to get it all started and get off my feet. So I'm not that bothered that there's not loads of comments. But whoever is in the comments, thanks for commenting and stuff. But I was on Follow Everton channel for a while. People will know me from that, and they'll probably come on and think, oh, this is not as good as Follow Everton. But I'm just starting up. Follow Everton's a lot bigger than me. I'm not in competition with that channel. I generally just want to start my own thing up and just have my own little channel that I'm proud of, and it's my little Everton hobby. I mean, I know you've got your own channel. And it probably took a while for you to make it grow.
You know what? It was quite a long process. I'll be honest. I was fortunate enough that I was able to actually utilize something that a lot of the Everton fans were looking for at the time, being the drone flying around Bramley Moor. And as people have probably noticed now in the future, I'm trying to branch out that channel, because what's going to happen is Bramley Moor is going to be finished soon. Well, within the next 6 months to a year, we're going to be seeing the latter stages of the external stuff being put together. And I don't want the channel to basically be a memorial of when we were building Bramley Moor. I want to make it into something that I can actually utilize in the future, which is why I'm actually sort of branching out, and I'm doing like me little pre-matches, post-match sort of stuff, and why I'm basically putting myself in front of the camera a lot more.
Yeah, I looked at it, it's cracking stuff on the stadium. Even when the new stadium's built, you're going to have to, that is one positive thing after this derby, you're going to have to like continuously talk about how good the new stadium is as well. I bet you can't wait till when it's up and stuff. But like, it will be good. It will be gutting when it's finished, like you say, because the building process will be finished. But you've got loads of ideas. I know what you're like. Just read a comment here. Really poor performance by Everton tonight. We showed them too much respect and should have rattled them from the start, which you said. And he's just said, Leeds, like you said, it's a very, very big game. Another comment. This is one good thing. People said, you doing this channel was stupid, but I will interact with your comments a lot because I've got Luke on to help me out big time today. But I might be on by myself with the comments sometimes. So I do get to interact with you in the comments and stuff. And sometimes the comments don't get read. I'm sure Pickford let the crowd get to him. Do you think he did?
Yeah, he definitely let the crowd get to him. This is one of the things with Jordan Pickford. He is very responsive to crowds. He is very responsive to the fans. If you had the Everton fans behind him, absolutely cheering his name, screaming and shouting, he feeds off that and he plays a lot. I feel like he does actually get like that little bit more of a extra couple of like milliseconds in terms of reaction time. He's got a bit more better placement when it comes to his kicks. So when you've got Liverpool fans just behind him, giving him basically an earful, I think that might have affected his mentality a little bit. I mean, you've probably noticed in the game as well, about 2 or 3 times when he was doing the buzzy goal kicks, he was pretty much going on his arse after it. I'm assuming that's probably mostly down to the turf, and he was probably wearing moldies or something, but that's another one. That could be a mentality thing.
I think he thinks he has to do too much in the derbies and just puts pressure on himself and wants to be the hero, when you don't need to do that, do you? Like, you'd rather him just go about his business. Pretty simple. Like he made it so easy to Salah. All Salah had to do is get the ball on target instead of actually put it in the corner. But you made it so easy. So I do agree with that comment. Another comment here. The break clearly made us lazy. Absolutely zero effort today. Liverpool were pressing us so much. There was a lot better than us. Like, we were sitting back way too much.
We gave them way too much respect. We should have went into that and just treated them like they were nothing.
So frustrating. What we're going to do now then? So we've talked about the game, gone through bits and bobs. It's something that I don't even want to go over too much. I was thinking to myself, I've got to this, because this is the first time I'm going to go live, and I thought, what a time to go live when we lose the derby 2-0. Especially when I wanted to win so much. But I've got to confront it, and because you know what I'm like, I won't back down from it. But the performance, I don't feel like that performance is going to go into Leeds. Or like, it best not go into Leeds. It really best not go into Leeds. And Leeds is a massive game. It's at home, which is going to help. I do think, I don't like to say it, but I do think our players go in there absolutely shit themselves. I don't know why, but I think the Liverpool, I'm not going to say they had a good atmosphere, because I don't think they had a good atmosphere. It was very quiet, but I think just being away at Liverpool got to us.
The atmosphere was actually kind of terrible, in all fairness. I'm not saying this just from a bias point, but listen to it from the game. I heard the Everton fans more than I heard the Liverpool fans. And even then, you heard them periodically, and it was probably 15 seconds and then dead air for about 15 minutes. So it was coming in like little peaks and troughs, which is what Liverpool's like. And as I'm not sure whether you actually you were in the Twitter space when I mentioned it, but I always remember there was a little glitch with one of the tannoy systems, and they do actually put canned sound in every now and then. So what will happen is you'll have, like, at the start when they're doing like the You Never Walk Alone, instead of it being like a generic actual like singular sort of track, they actually flood in the You Never Walk Alone with fan atmosphere.
Oh, so they help them out.
Oh yeah, they give them.
We don't need that with our atmosphere, do we? Our fans don't need helping with the
Oh yeah,
sound.
but I mean, to be fair, we can't exactly sing our little tune, can we?
No, it's not after frigging losing. Do you know what I mean? Don't know the meaning. We can't sing our song after that performance. Someone said there for Everton Toffee. I will get good at reading these comments out. It's definitely going to improve my reading skills. First goal was crucial in the derby. And I said to you, didn't I, Luke, if we got that first, if Tarkowski put that first goal in, they would have been rocked, wouldn't they? They would have been rocked big time. And the fans would have been like, oh, we've been miles better and you've let them score from a set piece. And it was a game changer. And you do need luck in football, don't you, Luke? You do need that luck in football.
Luck is... Football, when it comes to two teams who are reasonably even, I would say luck plays a massive part. All it takes is that one goal and it messes with the mentality completely. It goes from a game that seems reasonably even to it always heavily steeps towards the goal scorer. Unless it's, Everton in the FA Cup, and then for some reason it just means that they're going to bloody dial it up by about bloody 10.
Well, when they got the goal and they went 1-0 up where it could have been us, they started like getting confident. Salah started winning a bit more, and we had them under control, I felt. But once they got the goal, it gave them the confidence to go on and get the second. And it could have been the same with us. I'm not saying we would have got the second, but I think if we would have got the first goal, it would have given us confidence to try and get that 1-0 that we desperately wanted, or even a draw. It would have just set us up so well. So I do think sometimes in football, if it just doesn't go your way, does it? And if it was meant to be, that Tarkowski header would have gone in. It would have gone 1-0 up, and I feel like we would have got something out of the game, but it just wasn't meant to be, was it?
No. I think what would have probably happened, though, if Tarkowski would have got that goal, I think Sean Dyche would have turned around and went, right, he's got the goal, park the bus. And I would have been happy with that, to be honest. I mean, I would rather see us win an ugly 1-0 than a fancy 3-0 in person at the moment. I mean, if we were higher up the table, then things start changing a little bit. You think, oh, actually, you could probably try and put a little bit more finesse in and all that. But right now, I would rather see us win gritty 1-0s.
Well, if we got that goal and went 1-0, the problem was we was pushing up and we was on the halfway line, and Gakpo and Salah and Nunes, they're fast players. And we was exposed to our weaknesses because our defenders are slow. But like you said, if we got that goal, our defense could have sat back, and their speed wouldn't have been a strength against us, and we would have sat back, and they would have tried to pass it through us. And I really do feel like they would have struggled. That first goal, I just generally do think it could have got us something out of the game.
Yeah,
I think you're right. I'll drop another comment here. I will wrap this up. I think we'll keep it on the 30-40 minute mark. I've just got a feel of everything, to be fair, and it should, but there's loads of stuff to add. I've got to add banners on the page. I've got to add more stuff, little links, this, that, and the other. It's harder to set up than what I thought, but you're a technology wizard. It is a lot harder to set up than what I thought, but once I get it going, I'll get it going. I mean, I will get people come on this and say, it's not that good yet, but it's going to take me time, and eventually I will get it good. And I'm going to get, like I say, I've got you as said you're willing to come on as a guest. I've got other people to come on as a guest, and hopefully I get a few football players on as well. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, good, could be an interesting one. That's what I'm looking on. I mean, Pinar agreed a bit back. You never know. He said he promises he'll come on, so hopefully he'll keep that promise for me, and Pinar will be coming on. But I want to keep it. I want to keep it open as well, this channel. It's not about me. I just want it to be a proper guest thing. So I've had you on now. I'd like to get someone on, like, I'll have you on again if you want to come on. I'll have someone else on with us, and even people on the comments. So when the subscribers build up, I want to get you involved in the channel. I generally want I want this to be an Everton fan club. That's my idea. And some people say, oh, why are you doing the channel by yourself? I want this to be an Everton fan club where literally I'm going to get the people in the comments involved so much. If they message me like saying, I want to be on your channel, I will try and get them on the channel, because I want loads of Toffees on this channel, and just like Toffee get together group thing. That's my aim in my head. It should go all right, shouldn't it?
Yeah, it'd be great. It'd be like a little Everton social club.
Yeah, that's what we need. That's why we call it Bluecast, all of us together. So we'll wrap it up on that. 2-0. we've got to get ready for this Leeds game now, aren't we? When is it? Do you know? I bet you know when it is. I haven't even looked.
It's Saturday, the 18th of Feb, 3 o'clock kickoff. So it's not televised.
Got another long break then, haven't
we? Well, rest of this week, really.
No midweek games if it would have been on a Monday. So we've got loads of rest. Not that this rest has done us any good. I completely agree with the other person. I wish we had the game on Saturday and then a game on Wednesday, because I feel like we lost all that momentum that we had in the Arsenal game. That's why he probably did it behind closed doors. Right. This is Dan's Bluecast. Thank you for coming on, and look forward to having you on again. Thanks for the people that have commented, and hopefully this channel grows and it gets better. Thanks for coming on. 2-0, absolutely gutted, fuming, but let's stay positive and let's go and beat Leeds, and then we'll be happy again.
Yeah, up the fucking toffees. Come on.
Up the fucking toffees.